Excellency.
Pleasure to see you.
أهلا بك. ألف مبروك.
Guys, how are you? How are you?
Yes, just come out. Yes.
How are you? Really?
You know, our police were at the UN house for another assignment. That was why they flight delay. It's 12 o'clock. Can we give just 10 minutes?
Yes, because
there
Gloria
are two others
just
are
called
coming.
me. She's at the UN house, so I told her to just come.
Ask after he addresses you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so much, of course, for coming here today. Indeed, it's a tragic moment for all of us. And I would like to brief you about the catastrophe that is running these days in Palestine. But before I start, of course, I would like to take you a bit back to the history, because sometimes it's very important when we tackle any issue to talk about the history, the historical background that led us to this issue. This means that I should go back to 107 years ago, 106 years ago, when the Great Bridge was issued what's so-called the Balfour Declaration, or the notorious Balfour Declaration. In this declaration, the Great Bridge government announced or gave promise to give our historical land Palestine to the Jewish people. Then the bridge mandate did not spare any effort to entrench the Jewish presence in Palestine and to facilitate their existence there till we reach 1948, Nakba, which we call it a Nakba. And in Nakba, the Jewish gang militia was succeeded to uproot the majority of the Palestinian people from their historical land and to make them a refugee in Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Egypt, also in West Bank and Gaza. Till we reach also another step in the history. In 1967, Israel succeeded to occupy the remaining part of the historical land of Palestine, which is West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza. And the whole entire Palestine, from river to the Jordan Sea, became under the Israeli control. Me in person and all of my age, of course, was born in a refugee camp, and the majority of us is born in a refugee camp, and all of us, of course, born under the Israeli occupation. The PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, started 30 years ago on a process, the peace process itself, when the PLO recognized the state of Palestine, and Israel, the government of Israel, recognized the PLO as the sole and the legitimate and sole representative of the Palestinian people. And we started the peace process, but unfortunately this peace process was completely failed due to the Israeli behaviors. They did not stop their, they did not intend to put an end to their occupation and to implement what's so-called the two-state solution, and which is the agreed solution from all around the world. The situation in the ground, as you might all know, that it was deteriorated day by day, and the Israeli expansion settlement did not stop. The Israeli aggression against the Palestinian people also did not stop. The Israeli humiliation of the Palestinian people did not stop since many years ago. And you all know that there were 7 Israeli aggression against the Gaza Strip, beside, of course, their aggression and attacking of the Palestinian in West Bank. President Abbas, a long time ago, was alerting the international community and alerting also the Israeli themselves that this situation cannot be continued like this. You are like the grumpy teenager who's holding matches and running among and between the explosive peril, and it will be explosive one day. Last Saturday, of course, was another step in this unfortunate situation. We all woke up when the Israeli was attacking Gaza. Of course, there is some of the Palestinian people attacked Israel, and this is, of course, a very legitimate right for us as a Palestinian to make sure that we are to free ourselves and to defend ourselves and to use all the legitimate rights and all the legitimate tools which is acceptable by the international law to free ourselves and to liberate ourselves. Since that time, the issue was escalated, and the war, Israel spared no effort to destroy the Gaza Strip. The Minister of Defense, or the Minister, they did declare, of course, state of war, the state of war. The Minister of Defense declaring or announcing a very dangerous announcement when he mentioned that we are fighting and we are dealing with human animals, and we will going to completely siege and close the Gaza Strip with 2.2 million persons had been lifted without electricity, without water, without shelter, of course, and without food. This is a pure genocide act, and this is a war crime that we all, as an international community, should take a stand and be firm to denounce and to not accepting this act. Till today, I'm gonna say some figures only about the death toll among the Palestinian people. The health sector, the hospitals in Gaza was dealt with 3,726 case, 687 Palestinian was killed. Part of them, of course, children and women, 105 child, and 140 children was killed, 105 women. The internal displaced person, the number reached 123,000. All of them is find a way to find a shelter, of course, in the UN schools and properties. 13 families, 13 Palestinian families was completely wiped out, completely killed. I'm gonna name a few of it. Of course, Shabat family from Beit Hanun, 17 person, Shamallach family and Zaanin family, all of them, at least 20 person was killed from the same exact family. Also, the Israeli forest, Air Force, of course, and other type of military force was targeted. The Palestinian medical sector. They attacking 7 hospitals. One of them was completely out of service now. 5 of the medical servant and medical team was killed. 11 ambulance was completely destroyed. This is till now the main figure that I would like to shed light on it. And also another very important issue, unfortunately, the majority of of course, the Western country was aligned itself with Israel. Part of them announced loud and clear that they will support Israel in this fight. And of course, you all know that the United States of America was sending or moving one of its aircraft holder which is located in the Mediterranean Sea towards Israel for more support. Also, they announced $7 billion as a subsidiary for the Israeli war workforce right now. It will be sent to Israel, many other Western country, and I will not go to name it because I'm not pretty sure about the names, but many other Western country was announced their fully support to Israel. Unfortunately, they used to say Israel have the right to defend itself. It's not Israel. Any country all around the world have the right to defend itself. Nigeria have the right to defend itself. Germany have the right to defend itself, but also the Palestinians have the right to defend themselves, and also have the full right and the legitimate right to liberate themselves and to become a free people. This is the most important sentence. Unfortunately, the American and the Western country did not mention it. Other very important aspect I would like to shed light on it, the media, especially the Western media, is used to deliver the Israeli narrative, and these days, unfortunately, they not only they're marketing the Israeli story and the Israeli narrative. I hope that you here as a Nigerian people, at least as a Nigerian people who is working in this sector, which is the media sector, whether press, journalist, newspaper, and all of this stuff, to take another look and to start listening to us. It's very important to give us a platform to tell our chapter, our part of the story, so that we can, at least from our point of view, to shed light of what is happening in Palestine. I'm gonna stop here. This is brief, our very, very brief that I would like, I already mentioned, and I'm ready to take all of your questions. Thank you so much. Sadia, yes, the Palestinian all the time is trying to defend themselves, and all the time try to use their legitimate right. This is a legitimate right to try to liberate. Part of our defense to ourselves is also to liberate ourselves. I'm not pretty sure why all the people want us to just surrounding and to give up and to accept the Israeli occupation. It is our legitimate right to not only to defend but also to liberate ourselves. So that Saturday is another step out of tens of not millions of steps that happening and running in the ground. I'm pretty sure that no one knows what's happening to the Palestinian people last Friday. Just one day, less than 24 hours before the Saturday, before this escalation happened, 7 Palestinians was killed, murdered, killed in the street by the Israeli force. Why no one trying or daring to shed light on those 7 Palestinian people whom is killed just 24 hours before Saturday? Also, 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, we also, and you might be aware that the Israeli radical and messianic groups whom is patrolling old city of Jerusalem was spitting and slapping the Christian people, the Christian Palestinian, and the Christian visitor whom was in a visit to the Holy Tomb in the old city. The issue is we cannot start measuring the issue only since Saturday. There is many things to talk about it. We can start measuring the issue since the start of this occupation, or to be more frank and to be more rational, we should start measuring this issue since 1948.
Okay, I have another question. The killing of women and children in this crisis, do you condemn it?
Let us go to the principle of this issue. Any human life, again, any human life, whether he's child, woman, elderly person, or young one, is matter. Any human life, Nigerian life, African human life, Palestinian human life, Israeli human life, it's a matter of principle, and we should stress on this principle. Yes, I condemn all the Israeli act against the Palestinian women, against the Palestinian children. I want you to shed light, just to Google how much the Israeli and how much the Israeli conducting crimes against our women, how many women was killed by the Israeli force, how many women and how many child was killed only in this war. As I already mentioned and as I already told you, 5 women was killed. So that I condemn, and I strongly condemn by all strongest means, the Israeli aggression against the Palestinian women, the Palestinian child. It should be very clear. We should be very clear in this regard. When it came to the human life, a human life matter. Any human life matter. But again, I strongly and humbly asking all of you to go to the root symptom, to the root of this conflict. The root of this conflict is the occupation itself. When it came to the numbering, I ask you all to Google how many women was killed by the Israeli force, how many child right now is detained in the Israeli presence.
I'm so sure Palestinians haven't painstakingly gone through the process of their covert missions, which has sort of given rise to a lot of killings and then now war and all of this. I don't know, what is Palestinian hoping to get out of this?
Yes, the Palestinians have only one song, and we will not hesitate to repeat it every single moment. We have only one song, one song to sing it, which is the international law, the applicability of the international, the most important issue to get out, to get rid, to finish this catastrophe is to back to applying the international law. Israel should apply and accept that it is a state likewise any other state all over the world. Israel is not exceptional. Israel, the international law should be applied on Israel. If this happens, we will get rid. We will finish this catastrophe. We will put an end to the Israeli occupation. Also, another, which is to complete the picture, the Western countries should start and should end treating Israel as the grumpy teenager. It's not possible to continue treating Israel as a nation above the law, state above the international law, and providing them with unlimited, unconditional political and military support. This is the point. If we reach this point together, we will put into this catastrophe, and tens of lives, tens of thousands of lives will be saved.
Is Palestine getting support from Iran?
Palestine, not. This is another issue that the Western media is trying to put to corner us as a Palestinian. Palestine getting support from Nigeria, from the African country, from tens of thousands from all around the world, from the American people, from the European people. You should know that how many demonstrations is running right now, and you should watch how many demonstrations running yesterday in Nigeria to support the Palestinian people, also in Europe, in United States of America, so that not only Iran, there is many other countries supporting Palestine. This is, but again, because the Western country have a problematic issue with Iran, they are trying to corner us with Iran alone. No, it's not only Iran. Nigeria is supporting us. Nigerian people is supporting us. Nigerian people and Nigerian government is supporting the applicability of the international law. Let me take you all to the General Assembly, and it is resolutions. And the General Assembly, when it came to the resolution tackling the issue of self-determination, 150, 65, or sometimes 66, something around this number, is supporting the Palestinian people. Why you wouldn't just want us to, or everyone would like to shed light on Iran? Iran, Nigeria is supporting us also in when it came to the self-determination issue. Tens of resolutions we have adopted in the General Assembly, Nigeria and many other tens, and if not hundreds of countries supporting us, so that it's not only one country, it's any country would like to abide by the international law. Of course, one word loud and clear is supporting Palestine.
Sir, how do you see Hamas group, terrorist or are they patriots?
No, terrorists, you cannot say for the Palestinian there is because we are fighting against the occupation. The terrorist root, the root of the terrorists is the Israeli occupation. So but again, if we want to just label Hamas, this is the Western point of view. Are you aligning yourself with the American point of view, with the Western point of view? They're labeling Hamas. No, it's not only Hamas. Anyone contradicting the interest of those countries will for sure be labeled as a terrorist group, even if many of the African government here is labeled as something, I will not say just terrorist group, but since there is a conflict of interest between this country and the United States of America and Western country, they will be labeled as barrier states. So that, again, Hamas and other is a part of the Palestinian people. We are fully aligned with this. We will not abide that Hamas is not part of but Hamas, again, is not a terrorist group at all. The terrorist state is Israel. The terrorist issue is that the source of the terrorists in the Middle East is the Israeli occupation, not Hamas. Hamas was born only 30 years ago. The occupation and the Nakba 75 years ago and 56 years ago. Hamas was born as a consequence of the occupation. Hamas, like other military and other political Palestinian group, was born as a consequence to defeat this brutal occupation, to resist against the occupation. This is the normal. Absolutely, this is the normal. We are a human being. You cannot say that we should accept the Israeli occupation. Otherwise, we are terrorist people. No, Hamas is not a terrorist at all.
Sorry, clarification. So you are admitting that the Hamas group is carrying out the fight of the Palestinian people?
Hamas is, of course, Hamas is part of the Palestinian people. We have different way to defeat this occupation. Part of those Palestinian groups believe of the military issue. President Abbas's believe of the political issue. But again, by the end of the day, the ultimate and the end goal of this is to defeat the occupation and to defeat it and to eliminate this occupation and to end this occupation. Whether, again, we use, whether we as a Palestinian National Authority in the PLO or other group of the Palestinian, all of this is a completely legitimate way to defeat the Israeli occupation. It's and it's completely covered by the international law.
How is the Palestinian government dealing with, approaching the humanitarian crisis that was generated out of this round of violence? How is the government handling the humanitarian crisis?
Again, if you think that the humanitarian crisis just happened a few days ago, it's not true. The Palestinian National Authority is facing a lot of difficulties long time ago. Just let me talk about or tackle the financial difficulties. The Israeli, you might know that we did not control our border, so that Israel is controlling the full border, and we could not export or import except through the Israeli borders, and they used to collecting the VAT instead of the Palestinian people. And when it came to the end of any month, they did not, part of this VAT, they are hijacking it, and they did not transfer it to its owner, which is the Palestinian Authority. 3 years ago, we are suffering chronic financial crisis, just as a Palestinian government employee, the government is just paying us since 3 years only 80% of our salaries. So that the crisis or the humanitarian crisis is not happened just yesterday. It is it's running for a long time, since the occupation, of course. As long as we are under the Israeli occupations, as long as there is the Nakba is still continuous, the humanitarian, we are facing this humanitarian crisis since 1948, the Nakba itself. How did we used to deal with it? There is a lot of ways with all the available tools that we have we are trying to deal with this crisis, especially these days in Gaza. Of course, we are fully responsible, whether it is political or financially speaking, to provide all the necessary equipment and the necessary aid for Gaza. But again, Gaza today or 2 days or 3 days ago was completely under a full siege. And again, I would like to remind you all what did the Minister of War, the Israeli Minister of War, Gallant, mentioned just 2 days ago. We are fighting against human animals. We are dealing with the human animals. Gaza will be under the siege. No water, no electricity, no fuel, no food, so that Gaza will continue to be under the siege. Again, we are trying our best as a Palestinian national authority. President Abbas did not spare any effort to communicate with the political leader all around the world to stress them and to explain to them what is really happening on the ground, far away from what the Israelis trying to tell and the Western media, of course. President Abbas, again, did not spare any effort to put an end and to encourage the political leader from all around the world to pressure Israel to put an end to its aggression.
You have opened the United Nations. How do you deal with that?
Fortunately, I'm the son of the United Nations. I spent there 8 years, so that when it came to the United Nations, the two main bodies, the Security Council and the General Assembly. In the General Assembly, there is tens of thousands of resolutions that was adopted by the General Assembly. But again, this should take us back to how did Israel treated itself as a country and the state above the international law. And also, this means that the applicability of this the General Assembly resolution is not valid. The other body, which is the Security Council body, is completely paralyzed by the will of the United States when it came to the Palestinian issue. The Security Council, which its main duty is to keep peace all around the world and to protect the people, completely again paralyzed because the United States is used the veto to protect the Israeli occupation. Historically speaking, United States used the veto approximately 42 times, double the amount or double the number of the 42 times to protect the Israeli occupation, more than the other veto that it used to deal with other crises all around the world. So that, again, this body is completely paralyzed, and unfortunately, when it came to the Palestinian issue, this body is completely asleep.
Can we have just 2 more questions?
No, let me take this. Tell us specifically in number. In the last 5 days, how much has the government of Palestine lost to this protest?
You mean the Palestinian? How much Palestinian was lost in this in the last few days, in the last 4 or 5 days? As I told you, there is till now, according to the last update that I had received it from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the health sector dealt with 3,726 cases. 687 case was killed, or innocent people was killed. 105 is women, 140 child, 123,000 is a internally displaced person, seven hospitals was attacked, 11 ambulance was completely destroyed, 5 of the medical team or medical doctors and nurse and others was killed till now. So that this is the picture till now. But again, this picture is not completed because we believe that there is hundreds of bodies still under the rubble with our very limited ability to secure all of and to dig under the rubble and under these destroyed building. Unfortunately, I strongly believe this number is. Comparing to the accurate number is very low.
Okay, giving us the last question. Yeah, the last question.
Now the Palestinians are out to protect what they call the occupation. And the Israeli are also
Say it again?
The Palestinians are all out to defeat what they call the occupation of the
No, it's not what I call. This is the occupation.
Yes. So, assuming the United Nations or any country that is neutral to all this come out to calling people to a truce, that is for ceasefire, will the Palestinian side accept a ceasefire to stop this?
The issue here, again, wording have a meaning. You cannot say that ceasefire calling for the Palestinian whom is defending themselves, and the Israeli, which is the first military power in the Middle East, and it is the 17 military power all around the world, parallel or comparing to the Palestinian whom have a very limited and very tiny weapons to call for both sides to cease power. We are under the Israeli military aggression, so that the call should be directly goes to Israel. It's time to cease fire from the Israeli side. It's time to tell Israel cease fire, not the Palestinian, because we cannot. Again, Israel is a well-organized military force that they can control all of these stuff. If they intended to put an end to cease fire, they can do it right now. But again, the call should be end the occupation, not only ceasefire. Israel should end its occupation to the Palestinian territory. This is the call that we should all stress on it. Israel should be abide by the international law. This is the call that every single state all around the world to say and to stand firm. Israel, it's time to you to be abide and to be under the international law and under, of course, international agreed instrument.